human mind. 600 miles of synaptic fiber, 5.5 ounces of cranial fluid, 1,500 grams of complex neural matter. A 3-pound pile of dreams. But I'll tell you what it really is. It is the ultimate battlefield and the ultimate weapon.
Hey guys, how's it hanging? Me? I'm just chilling with some glue. But that's not what you're here for. We all have those memorable games. I'm talking about the ones that have gameplay that function years past their original release, a stylish look that doesn't age like rancid milk, and the presentation of every other factor just screams personality. These are games I highly recommend, and some spoiler-free advice if you choose to use it. So remember to grab a drink, some pizza, and get ready to game on. I'll save the lengthy history of Double Fine Productions and Psychonauts for another time. Trust me, that's a video in of itself. But as always, context is a wonderful tool. For the heavily abridged version, during Tim Schafer's time at LucasArts, he was working on Full Throttle, a rejected idea of his where the main character Ben would go on a trip from a peyote cactus, led Schafer to leave LucasArts along with a fellow few colleagues. And after many setbacks, Double Fine released their debut title. And even though Psychonauts was considered a commercial failure, not a flop, that's when the manufacturer hasn't lost money from the product. The advent of digital download services managed to reel in a new audience, secure them a source of revenue, and excited the game's cult following. All factors considered, Double Fine stuck the landing. Psychonauts centers around Rasputin Aquato. He ran away from home with Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp in mind, a government training facility under the guise of an ordinary children's summer camp. A place where kids with psychic powers can hone their abilities to one day become agents of the metaphysical plane. And unfortunately for Rasputin, he snuck onto the grounds without permission and got caught by the resident Psychonauts. While he's allowed to stay at camp and partake in Coach Oleander's basic braining course until his parents arrive, Rasputin isn't allowed to do any advanced camp activities. But this doesn't stop him, as he easily passes basic braining, attracting the attention of Agents 9 and Vidello alongside learning more skills. The carefree vibes of Whispering Rock, however, end upon discovering a fellow camper has been debrained. And with the resident Psychonauts believing Rasputin's claims to be silly, that's where the plot starts ramping up all the way until the credits. What started out as a young boy sneaking into a summer camp to refine his psychic potential quickly turns into a confrontation with an insane asylum, an ex-dentist, a diabolical plan involving psychic brains, and a platforming adventure taking place in various mental worlds. The tools you have at Rasputin's disposal are a various array of psychic powers, his years of acrobatics training, and an old man and a piece of bacon.
Don't worry, I'll be right here with you, inside your head.
My head?
Yep, I want to keep my eye on you, son, so I'm going to be a psychic stowaway inside your noggin. If you ever want to make me appear, you can do it with this special device.
Is that a piece of bacon?
Oh, yeah. I just love bacon. I smell that stuff and I can't help it. I drop everything and come running.
Okay. Do you have like a little baggie or something I could put this in?
You get a move on or I'll eat that right here.
As a platformer, Psychonauts does a good job of utilizing area traversal with psychic abilities. Certain puzzles or areas will have you needing to use certain psychic powers, like telekinesis, psyblasts, levitation, pyrokinesis. In other scenarios, your powers make the platforming easier or managing enemies with little hassle. And while you do have to manage your inventory from time to time, it's less your inventory is necessary for everything, and more you're most likely using it for puzzles and scripted scenarios. The platforming can be a little tough, as the weight or new area mechanics can throw you for a loop, but after some trial and error, you'll land on your feet. There's also a bunch of different collectibles you can find, so you have something to keep yourself busy. And once you've managed to wrap your head around everything, the rest of the game is smooth sailing. Mostly. Though to any game journalist or internet personality who says this game is too hard, you're bad at Psychonauts. I'm not sorry for saying that. Also, skill issue. On a lighter note, I love the art style. Scott Campbell's style just clicks with Psychonauts. It's got this fun, cartoony charm to it that adds to its timelessness. And to deviate real quick, the way the team got the cartoonish flow of Rasputin down is through a series of Raz action status meetings. These meetings were done to ensure the feel of Rasputin's core actions and movements in-game. And I want to give the animators and developers in this segment my thanks, because Rasputin genuinely played like a cartoon character. Getting back to our regularly scheduled chattering, everyone's outside of the generic feminine and masculine rigs you generally see in a video game. Each character has a distinct shape and is easily recognizable from their silhouette. I won't lie, I love Coach Oleander's design. He looks like a freaking ham. And I'm not wrong, look at this man. He is built like a tin of canned ham. Bobby Zilch is my second favorite because he exudes an aura of childish superiority combined with the fact that he looks like a toothpick. As well, everyone on the team who did the backgrounds and settings that brought the mental worlds and Whispering Rock to life did a fantastic job. I love Milla's dance party, Black Velvetopia, the Milkman conspiracy, and of course, Whispering Rock. Each zone of the overworld is distinct, and each mental world is so different from one another that you won't be trudging through a monotonous or generic level, with it all molding together to make a wonderful cast complementing the fantastical worlds of the mind. And what helps to further the art of Psychonauts come alive is the music. The composer is none other than Peter McConnell. If his name or music sounds familiar, there's a good reason for it. He's composed for LucasArts, Double Fine, and Sucker Punch, alongside many other music-oriented roles in various other games. Full disclosure, I have no idea what assortment of instruments were used, but I heard percussion, string, brass, and wind. So the soundtrack, by what instruments I can identify, give off a manic and eerie energy that gives Psychonauts its charm. Milla's dance party has this upbeat and funky vibe to it that makes you feel like you're in a disco party at full swing, which is appropriate given the layout and feel of the level. It's so colorful and bouncy around almost every corner you can roll or float around in. Though after you learn the implications of why the music plays over, it hurts so very much. Black Velvetopia's music is modeled after the Mexican genre. The song Black Velvetopia is quieter and slower, matching the mood of the inmate Edgar's mind. But during the boss fight, the Matador plays, turning that calm mood into a passionate bullfighting gusto. I love both tracks because the former invokes a feeling of casually walking around a beautiful city, while the latter is this badass and epic display of machismo. The Milkman conspiracy is my favorite level, because for some reason, I love the combination of 1950s America wrapped up in X-Files and/or Twilight Zone energy with a smidgen of everything's okay and we're all happy here kind of vibe. The song aptly titled The Milkman Conspiracy adds to the fact that the mind of Boyd, the inmate full of conspiracy theories, is personified as this messy and disorganized road full of fear and paranoia. It reminds you that everything and everyone in this mental world is supposed to be strange and off-putting. Lastly, Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp's theme, well, Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, is relaxing. The string, percussion, and harmonica just makes you want to sit by the lake and enjoy the warm sun, walk over to the mess hall, collect Psytanium arrowhead shards around camp, and run from the psychically enhanced wildlife. Whereas Stay Out of the Moonlight, with a slower tempo and piano accompaniment, plays during the later game in the nighttime segment, making you uncomfortable and nervous of the current scenario. The tracks add so much personality to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp. On one end, it's a fun and relaxing environment, and on the other is an eerie summer campground. The voice acting was also a gift, but as to not overwhelm all of you, I'll be listing off 6 people I recognized in the credits. Richard Stephen Horvitz, Rasputin's voice actor, as well as Billy from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, David Kay, Ford Cruller's voice actor, and Sashomaru from Inuyasha's English dub, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Crystal Flower Snagrash's voice actor, and Jazz Fenton from Danny Phantom, Laura Jill Miller, the voice actor from Mika Phage, and Fink from OKKO, Steve Bloom, the G-Men voice actor, and Vilgax from the 2006 iteration of Ben 10, and lastly Tara Strong, Shigor's voice actor, and the voice actor for about 70% of the childhood entertainment I consumed. I'm not listing any more roles because I already considered it and decided against the idea. Along with voice acting comes dialogue and vocal comedy. The dialogue is wonderful. It's snappy and full of wit, charm, and personality, while also fitting the tone of the game. It's a zany adventure that doesn't take itself too seriously, and the drama or weight isn't overshadowed by the jokes, unlike a certain movie franchise. Of course, we have Eric Wolpaw and Tim Schafer to thank for the writing of Psychonauts, and they did not disappoint. But I'm going to show you some of the exchanges between Ford Cruller and Rasputin, because giving you anecdotals doesn't do the writing or comedy justice.
Hey, where's my hamburger?
I told you.
Just kidding. I just want to buy stuff.
Don't push me, Sonny. I can reach you with this spatula.
Excuse me, Mr. Ranger, but I'm looking for Sasha Nine's lab.
Well, now, even if I knew where it was, and if it were down here, and even if you were very, very close to it right now, you shouldn't be poking around here. This forest is off limits. Now get!
Hey, do you know where this button belongs?
I know where it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong here in these off-limit woods. Just like you. Now get... Oh, wait. Now that's from the GPC. It does belong down here in these off-limit woods. Now, but you don't. So get!
Need your analysis on a hostile.
What kind?
How do you fight sensors?
Anything works on those guys. You can punch them, psi blast them. It's fun to set fire to them or confuse them, too. Pick them up with TK and throw them. Make yourself invisible and sneak up on them. Lots of fun, those guys.
What if there's like a million tiny sensors all over you?
Ah, the palm bomb. Just jump up in the air and then punch. You'll come down so hard those little guys just pop like popcorn.
2 words. Caca.
Well, I mean, that's really one word, isn't it?
How are you spelling it?
C-A-hyphen-C-A-W.
Oh, well, if you're gonna use a hyphen, I mean...
It's a hyphenated word. One hyphenated word. Like, half-wit.
Look, are you...
Watch his shadow, and when you see him coming down, turn on your shield for a real back-breaking landing.
Back-breaking. 2 words.
Very nice. Now, set me down easy and go pick up something that won't blow up your head if you make it mad.
We're now at my favorite part of the video, advice time. First, keep your eyes peeled for collectibles. You get minor power upgrades for boosting your Psy Cadet rank. Health is upgraded through completing worlds and certain tasks. So if you want more mental health, go out and explore. If you don't find everything in a level, I won't judge you for using a guide. I got stumped at finding the last remaining figments, and used it for that. Experiment with your toolkit. If you're unsure of something, just dive in. You won't get hurt for trying. You will, however, get hurt for being stupid. Play the game without obsessing over what to do or collect. You have up until a certain point to go back and collect everything you missed. And lastly, there's no shame in asking Ford Cruller for help. If you're lost or need some Cruller wisdom, use the bacon. If you guys have more spoiler-free advice, feel free to drop a nugget of wisdom down in the comments. Alright, here's some food for thought as we start treading toward the conclusion. How would you feel if Rasputin wasn't a 10-year-old acrobat? What would you think of the game if the humor was secondary and the summer camp theme and story were stripped away? What if your moveset wasn't a vast array of psychic abilities? Would Psychonauts still be able to hold your attention if its cartoonish style was wiped clean from the presentation? I say Psychonauts remains timeless because of everything I listed earlier. If you removed the art direction, the comedy, the story, and the vision of Tim Schafer, then what does it become? In my eyes, it becomes an easy-to-produce type of game. In your eyes, it might be completely different from what I mentioned. You're running around as Rasputin Aquato, a young boy who ran away from home to cultivate his dreams, but got caught up in a larger situation than he anticipated. Psychonauts is a story full of wit and the right amount of drama, a story that knows when to balance out being serious and silly. It's something akin to those animated feature-length Saturday afternoon movies that play during special occasions. With this in mind, do you think Psychonauts would still be the same game if any of these pieces were removed? If someone altered its core design, could it still retain the former's charm, wit, and personality? I already have my answer, so it's up to you to draw your own conclusions. I love Psychonauts because it's something different. Out of the countless games I've played over the years, Psychonauts was that one game I played on a whim, and didn't regret doing so. And sometimes you just need a simple, fun, and adventurous platformer to wash away the dull browns and grays that some IPs are saturated with. I'm not interested in a boring open-world game that I have no desire to play, or the one portion of the FPS genre that can't seem to pry its head from its own ass. I won't look down on you for liking them. That's called freedom of choice. But if you start trashing on Psychonauts, just remember the former's a mediocre-looking snarkfest, and the latter's current iteration is the epitome of boredom. I own the game on PS2, PS4, and Xbox for a reason. It's inexpensive, it's entertaining, and it still holds up almost 2 decades later. I will admit the game has its low points though. Its physics can be testy sometimes. There's a reason why some fans and myself are afraid of hearing the words Meek Circus, and don't get me started on people breaking the game with levitation. As I said, the game has a few flaws, but Psychonauts more than makes up for it, and I recommend you buy it or put it at the top of your wish list. Trust me, with the cost of gaming nowadays, it's worth getting a game that's about 2/3 less than the current industry price tag on digital download. So if you want something fun to play this year or desire a new experience, consider my words a positive recommendation. At some point in the future, I'll talk about Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin and Psychonauts 2, but that's not for a while. For context, I don't own any VR equipment, and I don't have a capture card that can bypass the PlayStation's HDCP hardware. So until then, I'm calling upon my library of PS2 and Switch games. Also, sorry about not posting anything earlier in the month. I was resting up, so I hope the double upload this week and the 24th make up for my absence. I'll be going back to my regular upload schedule starting March. Oh, right, and if this uploads by the 10th, it'll be my birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to anyone on the 10th, and happy shared birthday on the 11th. I'm Mr. J, and now, I'll show you all my prowess with invisibility. Oh, hey, I did it. And now to do what I've always dreamed of with this power. Sneak into movie theaters undetected. I'll see you guys on the 24th, but for now, see you later.